Well, hello and welcome back. It is time once again to fix something, and today we're going to be taking a look at another ADP-400FR power supply. This is the one that was left behind, you might say. I didn't have time to get to it in my previous video where I was working on power supplies. I just couldn't get to this one in time. So now we're going to remedy that. Let me gather up my various pry tools. And I'm going to go ahead and get the covers off of it, and hopefully this isn't going to be too boring. Well, that didn't take too long. I think I've improved my time a little. No roaches in this one. It looks clean. So yeah, no obvious burn marks. The MOSFET's about to fall out, looks like there. Just let me show if I can see this one. Here's how crooked it is. It's just the way it is from the factory. So, let's get started. Continuity mode. Let me null that out a little. How is our fuse today? Well, our fuse is open. Wide open. Okay. So, what about our fusible resistor here? Resistor is good. That tends to make me think that the MOSFETs will be good then. That resistor would have opened, I do believe. No short on the output. No short on the output. So do we have a short like right across these capacitors here? No short. So we have a few diodes here. I'm only in continuity. I'm not in diode mode, but if they were shorted, it would show up in continuity mode. Just seeing. Where is our bridge? Here's our bridge rectifier over here. Still in continuity mode because I'm just looking for shorts. Nothing shorted. Oh, well, take that back. That's the outer two. Is that the positive and negative? Well, if we're shorted there, why didn't I see a short across the bulk filter capacitors? Nope. Interesting. So short on these outer pair. Well, the bottom one is, or I say the bottom is how you're looking at it. This one here is definitely negative. It's actually labeled on the board. Normally these things, the AC would be in the middle. Let's see, and the plus and minus would be on the outer edges of it. I think that's how they usually are. There must be something between that and the capacitor. Something that has opened up. Let's see, here's where we go into our fuse with our line. So if I go right on the other side of this fuse, and here's the neutral. No short there. This is some sort of a common mode choke right here. I'm checking. Should be shorted here and here, but not across it, and it is not. So what's going on here? What is this right here? Some sort of a large, looks like it's either a capacitor or an MOV of some type there. Really can't read its labeling. Let me get it under the magnifying glass a moment. Is that a negative temperature coefficient resistor? It does say it is labeled on the board down there NTC1. And let me get in resistance mode. 2.4344 ohms. I'll bet that is good. So, do we just have a bad bridge? Can't be that lucky. This bridge rectifier, let me look at it a moment. GBU150A. GBU1508A. And right across the ends of it, 2 ohms, 2.65 ohms. Well, if this is the negative, is it tied to our, here's the negative of our bulk filter capacitors. It is. So, yeah, this is going to be AC in here. This would be the positive. There's a jumper wire underneath here. What is that? Well, that's that 2.5 ohm resistor. And these are capacitors. C7. Is that C7? There's several markings in the area. It says C5 right here on the board, but then it says like C7 on this side. Maybe that's where another capacitor could have been. There's also a labeling for a C6, so it's kind of confusing. But directly across there, I read a short. Let me just... let's just see if we can isolate this bridge. Well, you know what I could do? Lift that jumper. There's a jumper connecting the positive terminal of this bridge. Should be relatively easy to lift. There we go. Lifted that jumper, which connected from here over to the rest of the circuit. So that should isolate the bridge from everything else. And our short is not on our bridge. It is somewhere else. The other side of the jumper, we still have 2.7 ohms to ground. 2.7 ohms, which is exactly about the amount of what I measured on this negative temperature coefficient resistor right here. So probably not a coincidence. And on the other side, 0.33. So is there, where is the these MOSFETs? There's a MOSFET right here. Yep. I've never had that one go. There is a little discoloration too on this lead. There may have been something in here crawled around. It looks like an arc took place. I didn't see any other signs. There is a mark there on the board though. Let me get the, let's get under the microscope and take a better look. Alright, looking under the microscope, we can see signs that there was something here. Something has been walking around. See that arc? From here to over to this trace? There's a trail of carbon there. And there's, look at this right here at the side of this point. That looks like remains of an insect or something. You can see some corrosion right there too. So there may have been one singular roach that happened to crawl in here and short this supply out, because that is their goal in life, is to destroy a PS5 power supply or a PS4 supply, whichever one's available. So okay, so this was not just a random event. It was caused by something. I have to clean that up. So, and I think what happened is we shorted our MOSFET for our power factor corrector, which is in that same area. Having trouble locating it right now. Wait, right there. Is it? Does that look like it right there? I think that's probably it. Let's just check. Yep. Shorted about every way it could be. And I don't see the Q designation for it. Am I overlooking it? Let's look at it from the other side. Let me flip it over and see if it's marked on the other side down in there. Yeah. Q6. And I may not have this transistor, at least not a new one, because I don't think I've ever had to replace it. Okay, you see the part number 40N60M2. I may have that. If that was used in like a PS4 supply, I may have it. This other one's going to be a diode related to that circuit. Hopefully it's still good. Most likely the MOSFET went out. Okay, let's get that MOSFET out. And I bet our short goes away then. Alright, here's the MOSFET we need to replace. STF40N60M2, and which I don't have, but I do have on hand, if I can find some 42N60M2s. But you look at it, look at things like the voltage, maximum voltage across drain to source, and the on resistance drain to source, and it's rated at 34 amps. But the see the resistance 0.088, If we look at the 42N60 M2, 650 volts, 0.087 ohms, very slightly lower on resistance, very slightly, 1 milliohm, and same 34 amps. So I think that's what I will use. I had some of those on hand from working on some PS4 supplies. I don't remember which ones, but anyway, I think that will work nicely for our power factor corrector MOSFET. All right, well, I have replaced our MOSFET and fuse, and I did reinstall that jumper that I had removed early on, isolating the bridge rectifier. So I put that back in place, new fuse, new MOSFET. DC load is connected properly, I hope. Yep, the connector is actually labeled down there. You can see plus and minus down in there. So hopefully we're right. I'm set for 6 amps load. I'm getting ready to turn on the AC voltage over here, and let's see what happens. Oh, there she goes. 1194. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, I'm gonna let this run for a while. Probably need to turn my little handy fan on over here to kind of cool it off a little, but I'll let it run. But yeah, you can see there's the MOSFET I put in there, 42N60 M2. Those are 8 amp slow blow fuses that I got somewhere, I think, off of Amazon. Actually, I think that's the box they came in. Yeah, some time ago. I haven't used very many fuses. They don't seem to usually blow fuses. They usually blow the, what usually happens is these MOSFETs go and they blow that little fusistor right there. That's what usually happens. But it all depends upon where the roach, what part of the circuit he steps on. Okay. But anyway, that was kind of a simple one. But I wanted to go ahead and get it out of the way because I said I would do it. So hope you liked it. Thought it was somewhat interesting and educational. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the very next repair. So long for now.